By now, we've all heard of it. The H1B visa just became a $100,000 plus game that most immigrants cannot afford to play. While this is not a fair system, the reality is that finding a way forward is the only option. Because I believe that no one who's just trying to make an honest living should be forced out of a country for a price tag. So here's what we will do. I will show you exactly how to outsmart this pay to play game without breaking the rules. Hi, I'm Tanu and I help immigrants thrive here in the US. Plus, I'm breaking this down into two parts. First, I'll tell you the brutal reality and the updated news, what is happening currently, and then the complete survival playbook to beat the game. So let's get started. So for H1B visa workers, now companies who want to sponsor these workers, they have to pay $100,000 an additional fee to justify their admission into the country. As of now, it is not applicable on renewals or transfers or people who already have H1B visa stamped. It's only applied for new stampings that happen for the first time outside the country. And how does this affect the H1B lottery system? Along with the increase in costs for employers, the US government will also give preference to higher wages employees in the lottery system. In short, the higher your wage would be, the higher your chances would be to get picked up in the lottery. Here's what the immigration industry does not want you to know. The H1B system is going to quietly transform into a premium service, and it's only available for those who can pay the price. It's just like, when you're boarding a plane with a first class ticket, those who can afford the first class ticket, they can get in faster check-ins, priority boarding, and more legroom maybe. So similarly, medium to large premium law firms, they are now charging anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 just for the application preparation for that H1B employee. Now, on top of that, if you add like employer cost, relocation expense, and like a premium processing fee, and if they are doing, potential multiple attempts to get that person in the door, then you are looking at an easy $100,000 or more total investment for that one case. Now, obviously, who's going to benefit from this? Not everybody can afford such a high pay, such a high investment, and this is like $100,000 plus another $100,000 fee that has been proposed for new H1B employees. So the total somewhere comes down to around 200 to $250,000 per case per person. So only these Fortune 500 companies who have massive legal budgets can afford to pay and bring in these employees. And then there are these smaller companies, startup companies who have just got maybe $1 million in funding. So, of course, out of $1 million funding, they would not be able to spend $250,000 just to get one person on board, unless that person can do a job of five people in the company and end up saving them a lot of money. So where I'm going with this is that I think pay to play really right now means that H1B access will become more on the financial barrier side and less on the skill side, because now only the most skilled, the most brilliant people will enter, or the ones who are really lucky and who get a job at one of these big FANG companies or big corporates, they will be the ones who will still get an entry into the door, because it seems like there will be a lot of inequality in the system now because of like who's getting the best of talent. So immigrants really need to understand this new reality to make their career choices. All right, let's talk strategy. Now, here are three moves that you can do to outsmart this H1B strategy. Number one, the strategic employer hunt. Now everyone wants to apply to like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, because these are the biggest players and who can now afford the fees or whatever. But now we also know that there's going to be a lot of competition. You are going to be competing among hundreds and thousands of other brilliant engineers or architects for only like 100 or 200 spots. But here's what I discovered, like there's this company, they do like a financial reporting software. So this company, Workiva, it has almost $800 million in revenue. So this can probably afford the fee as well, and they have almost like 85% to 100% success rate when they file H1B visas. So the idea is, I mean, this is just one company, but you can find many other companies like this who are like at a medium level, but they have good H1B sponsorships and success rate. And because they have a good history of applications approved, you also get a good chance of getting approved. And you can check out all this statistics on the Department of Labor database. It might not be that simple because there will be competition here as well, but it's still not as crazy competition as you will get if you're trying to get into Amazon or Google or Apple. Plus, number two, the skills arbitrage. Now, here's something I think nobody's talking about. Like, you don't necessarily have to be the best engineer in the room. You need to be an engineer in the room who can do something very specific, which is also in demand. Of course, engineering is in demand, but also there is more supply than demand for these type of skills. I have a friend, let's just call her Priya. She was struggling to get interviews as a regular full stack developer, but then she actually spent like 3 to 4 months learning about a specific industry, about like medical device regulations or HIPAA compliance. And then suddenly she started getting more interview calls for like healthcare software engineer when she showed those credentials and her skill set. And she got a job offer from one of these companies along with sponsorship and good pay package. Just imagine like how many full stack developers actually understand about medical devices as well. How many cybersecurity experts would know about the gas industry protocols as well? So, like, these are the sort of combinations, if you can find this combination, of course, with your passion and your interest aligned, and that has demand, this could be your ticket to getting yourself into the door of the US company. Right now, these employers, even if this rule gets implemented, they can justify paying you a high salary because you have such a specialized skill set that will make you a strong H1B applicant as well. Just pick up an industry where you might be interested in. This healthcare, finance, aerospace. Just find that unique technical challenge, spend some time, a few months, and get certified. Just build your skill set there, build some project in that space, and this is going to be your competitive moat. Let's talk about move number three, the geographic hack. I know it's going to sound crazy, but just forget about Silicon Valley. There's just so much competition there. Everyone thinks that you have to be in San Jose or San Francisco or Seattle to make it into tech. Yes, there are some amazing opportunities that there, I'm not denying it, but I was not in San Francisco. And as soon as I graduated, I had 2 to 3 job offers in hand. In every semester, I had at least two internship offers with me. So look at other geographies where you can also find demand and they will pay you well. Not only that, like if you get like $100,000 salary in Nashville, that will give you a much better quality of life than the $200,000 that you will earn in San Francisco because of the cost of living difference. Plus, the biggest advantage that you're not competing with 50,000 other H1B applicants. Now I can talk about Texas right now. Like Austin has become this massive tech hub, and there are places nearby as well which are still booming. They have huge tech corridors that are opening up. So many companies are moving in. Tesla opened its biggest data center close by, and just so much is going on. So if you scroll, based on location, you will find that they are looking for international applicants as well. And I see so many people who are moving across from California and going to places like Arizona, New Jersey, Austin, just because they find better opportunities and a better lifestyle there. I'm not saying that this is going to be true for everyone, but these are some of the options that you should take a look at. So the action point is look for these cities that have, maybe major universities and are growing in tech scenes, which are not on everyone's radar. Think like Nashville or Phoenix. Talent demand is exploding here, but H1B competition has not caught up yet. So stay strong, be hopeful. H1B system is broken or it's breaking. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but it's still not impossible. People can continue to complain or they can do the work. So I am giving you few tips that I think might still work out in your favor. So I can create the roadmap and you can find the link from the description. Tomorrow, I'm also going to be talking about the future predictions for H1B and what are some of the other alternative paths in terms of visas and backup plans. So, subscribe if you want to learn more. See you in the next one. Bye.